What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Life with Libby. I am so dang happy to have y'all here. I was just setting all of this up, like getting ready to record this episode, and this is such a surreal moment for me. I know this isn't like a recording studio by any means, but I have the camera, I have the mic, like this has been like a real podcast for a while, but now I'm like, oh shit, this is real. So before we jump into this, I'm so sorry. It has been since July since I have put out a full episode for y'all. I'll go into detail about that in this episode. But before I jump into this episode, this will make sense if you don't know what I'm talking about. If you are one of my students, listen to me. This is not Miss P talking right now. This is Life with Libby talking, okay? There needs to be separation, there needs to be boundaries there, okay guys? Okay? Thumbs up if you understand. Okay, so here we go. When I put out an episode, it was like end of July, I think, and since then, literally nothing about my life is the same, other than where I live. So I want to like go through all of the changes that have happened. First is my job. I know that I'm gonna cry talking about this just because, well, I know that I am. I know that I just know. So just hang with me. So y'all know that I had been at Steadfast for 4 years. I had hit my 4-year mark in August, and I'm gonna pull up the calendar here really quick just so I can like look at dates so that when I'm giving y'all the lineup of this story, I can understand. And I also cannot believe that it's October. Okay, so in August I had my anniversary on like the 7th of August, and that Friday, August 12th, was our Stuff the Bus event at Steadfast Chiropractic. And the event is, we partnered up with Saline Area Social Services in Saline Area schools to raise school supplies for kids in need. So I had been planning this event, working with Saline schools, working with Saline Area Social Services, working with Summerfest to make this event bigger. And in that, I got to work with Saline schools, so I got to be back in Saline schools. So I'm from Saline, I'm a 4th generation Saline grad, so like I love my hometown. I know that some people don't love their hometown and couldn't wait to get out. I did get out, and then I realized that like, no, I love Saline and this is my home. So being back in the school system, working with them through this event was incredible. And I loved it so much. And it was Tuesday, August 9th, that we had our last meeting for the Stuff the Bus event, and I was up at the schools, and I was like, I'm so sad. I was like, I'm so excited this event is finally here because the event was stressing me out. I was like, but I'm also really sad because I love working with y'all and I wish that I could just like work with y'all every day. And we were like joking around about it, and I had said I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, like I wish that I could do this. And someone had said, they were like, are you serious? I was like, well, yeah, like, yeah. Not thinking anything of it. Then the next day, I got a phone call from someone at Saline Schools, and they had said, Libby, we have a position that we would love to put you in. And when they had said what the position was, I immediately started crying. Because I remember who was in this position when I was in high school, and just to be even considered for it was a huge honor for me. So that was Wednesday, and I actually called in sick on Wednesday, which I never do. I never call in sick, but I was throwing up. I just didn't feel good, like something just wasn't right. So I called in sick, and then I got that phone call like midday, so it was like God was working in my favor for that, and just knew, whatever. So Friday was a day of Stuff the Bus, and we had the kickoff at one of the schools at 9:30, and so they were like, well, can you meet then? I was like, yeah, sure. So I went in and I had my meeting and my interview, and I sat at this round table with all of these people that I look up to. And to even be in that room considered for this position was such a huge honor. And everything happened so quickly. So I had the interview and they called me a couple hours later and offered me the position, and they needed me to start on the first day of school, which was in 2 weeks. So in order for me to put my 2 weeks in at Steadfast, I needed to tell them that day. And it was like, I had no time to think about it. I had no time to like weigh everything out. I just knew that God was telling me to move, and he said move quick. And I know that if I would have had more time, I probably would have turned this opportunity down. But I didn't. I took the position and I had to leave Steadfast. Which still, obviously now talking about, breaks my heart. Because Steadfast was my home for 4 years. These were people who watched me fight some of my hardest battles. And I had to let go of that and heal from that while walking into a new position that I had no idea what I was going to be doing. It was all brand new. So I finished out my 2 weeks at Steadfast, and it was not what I thought it was going to be at all. It wasn't happy, it wasn't cheerful. It was just, I bawled my eyes out. Like, I sobbed at work the entire first week of my 2 weeks. Like, I could not keep my shit together. And nothing about it was happy and nothing about it was cheery, which made that 10 times harder for me. And it's still hard to like think about how it all went down, because I'm just gonna leave it there. Like, I'm not gonna talk poorly about anybody. I'm just gonna like leave that there. But it was not a pretty ending. It was not a graceful ending. It was not sunshines and rainbows at all. So I think that made it 10 times harder for me. So with that, then also, like, keep in mind, I had just helped my boyfriend move to Chicago. So, and he was actually gone. Like, my boyfriend was gone at military training while I was, like, this week while I was trying to make this decision, so I couldn't even call him. Like, I had to make this decision 100% on my own, and God knew that. I had to make it 100% on my own. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. I was just like, duck, like, what am I going to do? So he comes home from military. He finally gets service one day. I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know I got offered this position at Slane Schools and I'm gonna take it. He was like, okay. So I had just moved him to Chicago, so that part of my life was changing. I'm taking a new job and I'm like, I hate change. Like, what in the fuck am I doing? But I was like, take a deep breath. God obviously has a plan, and this is what it is. So I am the new Dean of Students. I'm one of the new Dean of Students at Slane Middle School, and my first day was the first day of school, was August 29th. And mind you, this is a very surreal moment for me, because I told y'all, like, I went to Slane kindergarten, first grade, and then I went to Manchester, which is a much smaller school in our community, like in our area, in our county. And like literally a quarter of the size. Like at Slane, like my graduating class was like 550. At Manchester, it was like 110 kids, and we were the biggest class to go through Manchester at the time. So Slane kindergarten, first grade, Manchester 2nd through 7th. I moved, oh shit. I'm sorry, I just hit my mic. I moved back to Slane in 8th grade, 8th through 12th. So where I'm working right now is where I went to 8th grade. So I remember walking in like and I just started to cry. Keep in mind, this is gonna make me cry, but it's okay. So Lindsay Gettner is the assistant principal, and she was a special education teacher when I was in high school. And she worked with high school students. That was her classroom. And when I was in high school, we have a program, it's called Connecting. So it's where we work with special education students. And that was my jam. I thought I was gonna go to school to be a special education teacher. And so Lindsay was a teacher. So my placement when I was in high school was in Lindsay's room. And Lindsay is now the assistant principal at the middle school. And I would not have graduated and I would not have made it through like my time in high school if it weren't for Lindsay. And so I walk into her office one of the first times that I'm there, and we have like teacher appreciation night. In my junior year of high school, I had nominated her as my teacher, and I walk into her room and the award that I had given her is hanging in her office. And I just had like a full circle moment of like, my life could have turned out completely differently if like certain people wouldn't have believed in me, and she's one of them. And now I get to work with her every day. Sorry, I wasn't expecting to cry this much. I knew that I would cry, but not like this. But it's just an incredible thing. Like, I thought my life was going one way and now it's going another, and I just like sit in so much gratitude all the time. I'm just like, holy shit, like I really am here. Like if you would have told me this is what I would be doing a couple of years ago, I've been like, oh my god, what a dream come true. Like I said, I love my hometown and I love my schools, and like my heart is just so full to be back in Saline. So that's like such a gift, just to be able to be back in the school. So my first day was the first day of school, and I had no idea what I was doing, but it's me and Marcus, and him and I make a great team. Like, good cop, bad cop, like, we are great. He's one of the coaches for the varsity football team, so like all of the boys love him, and so he can handle that, and it's just perfect. Like, the way that it worked out is just perfect. So that was August, that pretty much all of August. And then September, like, I've just been trying to settle into my new job and trying to balance all of the things. And it's been hard because I'm used to working a lot of hours. Like at Steadfast, like I was putting in the work. I was there all the time. I felt like I was always at the office. We worked half day Thursday and we're off on Fridays, but then I was having to recoup, whatever. So now I work like 7 to 3:30, and then I have sporting events to go to after. And if you don't, like, if y'all know me personally, like, sports are my life. Like, I have to wrap this episode up soon because there is football on today. I've started to love the NFL a little bit more than what I have in the past. I know that I like shit on the NFL all the time and I hate them, but yesterday I watched college football all day. So like now I'm able to be back in Saline schools, in Saline athletics, which is my jam. Like, if I could one day, like, I love my position now, but like if one day if I could be involved in the Saline athletic program, like I would just be so ecstatic. So the hours are different, and trying to balance it all was really hard, and I think like now I've got it in a rhythm, which is super cool, because it just gives me so much time, because I'm working full-time. I'm going to the gym, which we'll touch on that in a second, and I'm still in school to be a life coach. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like I fell behind in classes because so much shit had happened, and I was just like, oh my god, I cannot do this right now. Like I need to pause, I need a timeout. So I'm just starting to get back into the life coaching classes. So, because I want to be certified by the end of the year, so that come the new year, when y'all are like, okay, I'm ready to make a change, I'm ready to make a difference, like let's do it, I'm there for you. So that's kind of like the little bit of insight on that and an update on that. So that was pretty much September, and then we're into October now, and I'm just like moving and grooving and still trying to like get everything figured out. But I love my life. Like I said, I was getting ready to record this episode and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I genuinely, like I'm sitting in a moment that I prayed for. Like I could not be more grateful for where I'm at in life. It's been hard the last couple months. There's been some hurdles that I've had to like overcome, and getting into like a new routine is really hard, but I still showed up. I showed up differently. I didn't show up on social media as much for y'all, but I still was showing up for myself. And I think sometimes when we're going through a hard season, we need to give ourselves a little bit of grace. Like, I shared this the other day in my Instagram story, and it's like what we think showing up daily looks like every day, and it was all these little circles, and the circles were full. And it's like, but what it really looks like is, and some days the circles were full, and some days they're half full, some days they were a little bit full. Like, showing up daily means something different for you every day. Like, show up, always show up and do your best, but if your best some days is like, I can do 2 things on my to-do list when I have 20, okay, then you still got some things done. Like, I think that that's what we need to focus on, is getting done what we can right now in the moment. Like, it was very hard for me to put the life coaching stuff on hold, but I was like, I cannot do this. My brain will literally fucking explode. Like, my brain will explode if I try to do all of the things right now. So that's just kind of where I'm at. And I just, like, this setup here, I'm still like having a moment, except this microphone I thought was Bluetooth, and I actually have to have it like plugged in, so I can't use my iPad, I have to use my laptop, so I'm trying to figure out how to do that. But I love that I'm here and I'm back, and I just love y'all so much, and I can't wait to get back into this. I think that I'm gonna stick with the Sunday episodes. I also want to start having guests on, because now that I have this set up, I can like have somebody else come join me. I need to figure that out, but we'll get there. So I just love y'all so much, and I just thank y'all for all the support that you have given me. Yeah, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye, guys.